and welcome to another episode of Masala Chai and Chess with Nisha. It's very cold in my house now, and that has made me very lazy. In fact, I was planning to record this video a couple of days back, but it was very difficult to do anything because of the cold. Is it cold in your house? Well, today I'm going to discuss a very important part of chess learning, that is, chess classics. So, everyone around us tells us that we must know our classics. But for every beginner, it's very confusing. Why should I study a game which has been played 100 years back? Will I get the same position on my board? Is it going to be useful for me? Now, these are the questions which every beginner, which every kid has in his mind. So, when we study the openings, we can see the immediate effect. We get the same position on our board and we think, yes, we must study the openings. But you will be very surprised to know that in fact, combinative ideas are also very repetitive in nature, and in fact some great players believe that all combinative ideas have been known for the past 50-60 years. I'm no one to judge the great players, but I feel in my own experience that yes, chess ideas are repetitive. Ideas do repeat in chess and they repeat more often than we can imagine, and it's very important to remember ideas as compared to only remembering moves. We must definitely remember the combinative ideas, and you will see all of a sudden that idea coming on your board. It's very repetitive in nature. Today I'm going to show to you a game of the fourth world chess champion Alexander Alekhine, and this game was played 99 years back. Yes, 99. You heard it right. And there's a special reason I'm going to show this game, and the reason is that okay, I'll not tell now because it will be disclosing lots of stuff, but I'll just tell you this much, that some idea played there has been used in some very recent games, and I want to make a comparison and prove the point that learning the classics is very important. We must know the classics. Let's get started. White is Alekhine, black is Sterk. As I mentioned, this game was played 99 years back in the year 1921. d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, knight bd7. This is some kind of queen's gambit declined, but here white played e3 instead of the more usual move bishop g5. So Alekhine went e3 and black played bishop d6. Again here, more usual, more common here would be the move bishop e7, but Sterk played bishop d6. White played knight b5. More accurate would be probably to play c5. But okay, we are seeing a game played 99 years back. Alekhine had some different ideas. He played knight b5, bishop e7, queen c2, c6. So black got a tempo with the knight, and he's also able to consolidate his center. White came back, knight c3, castles, bishop d3, d into c4, bishop into c4, c5. And here, as white had wasted a move with knight b5 and knight c3 back, black has managed to kind of equalize this position. D into c5 was played. Black played bishop c5, castles, b6. And as black is completely fine here, Alekhine went, to complicate the game, and he played the move e4. A more normal move would be to play b3, but okay, Alekhine wanted some complications. Bishop b7 was played, bishop g5. And here black played queen c8, coming out of the pin. And what is black's idea in this position? Let's try to understand. Suppose white plays a very normal move, rook a c1. This is, a mistake, because here black can just play bishop into f2, queen into f2, and this queen into c4, so a pawn is lost. So in the game, white played queen e2 and white defends the bishop on c4. Black played bishop b4, and now black wants to capture on c3, and then this e4 would be hanging. So white played bishop d3 and he's supporting the e4 pawn. But now the main question which comes to our mind is, what about c3? Isn't white losing a pawn here? So yes, black did play bishop into c3, and Alekhine had in mind this move, rook f c1. And the point is, he wants to capture rook into c3 here. Black played knight into e4. So black saw a very interesting idea here, and he went for this move, but objectively better would be the move knight c5, and I think black is slightly preferable here. But okay, let's come back to the game. Black played knight into e4 because black had seen this idea, bishop into e4, bishop into e4, queen into e4, knight c5. So this was black's idea. Right now black is attacking this queen on e4, and also this bishop is attacking the b2 pawn. So white played the move queen e2. I think in this position also queen b1 is a good move. It would help white to play the move b4 soon. But okay, queen e2 is also a very nice move. And black played bishop to a5. Now very important is that black cannot play a move like bishop f6 in this position, because white would simply take, and b4 is coming. And we see that this knight is pinned. So in this position, after queen e2, black played bishop a5. Very important is black has to keep control over the b4 square, because otherwise white just plays b4 and grabs the knight on c5. So here white played rook a b1, and as we see, white wants to play b4 with a fork, attacking two pieces. Black played queen a6, and here it looks like black is completely fine. Black is up a pawn and he's come out of the pin, and the point is that if white takes on a6, black takes back, and now he has complete control over the b4 square. So after this, in this position, white played a very nice move. He played rook c4. So he does not want to exchange the queens, and right now white is threatening to play the move b4. In this position, black played knight to a4. So black wants to stop b4. What's happening for b4 now? If white plays the move b4, black has knight c3. And this is a fork, as you can see. And the point is, the rook on c4 cannot capture the knight because the e2 queen is hanging. So let's come back. White did not play b4, of course. And in this position, Alekhine played a very brilliant move. And I mean, if you look at this position, there are more than one good moves. But the move played by Alekhine is just exceptional. It is out of the box. And the next move is the reason I'm showing this game. Let's see whether you can find it. This is my masala chai moment. Find something very pretty here. So in this position, Alekhine played a brilliant move, really brilliant move. Bishop f6. So all through the game, the play was happening, around the center or in the queen side, and suddenly Alekhine shifts from the queen side to the king side, and the course of the game suddenly changes with this one bishop move, bishop f6. I'll tell more about this move later after we finish this game. But yes, this is the move. This is the beautiful move because of which I'm showing this game. This is an excellent idea. Now, let's try to understand why this kind of move works. Like right now, black has 3 pieces which are almost out of the board. So black has this queen on a6, bishop on a5 and knight on a4. Now all these 3 pieces are very much far away from this king. And whenever you see that opponent's king does not have pieces near it, that's the moment to attack the king. So here, this bishop f6 works very well. Let's see the tactical justification for it. So in the game, black played rook fc8. So black also made a square for the king. But first, let's try to understand what happens if black captures the bishop. So this, of course, you would have spotted. There's rook g4 check, king h8, and now this queen into a6. The queen was hanging. That was the point. Let's come back. After bishop f6, if black plays rook a c8, and this is also very nice variation. Rook g4, fantastic move. The queen on a6 is hanging, so suppose black takes our queen, which is also hanging. Queen into e2, white takes rook into g7, king h8, and rook g6 is a very pretty mate. Let's come back to bishop f6. If here black plays the move h5, stopping rook g4, white still goes rook g4, queen into e2, rook into g7, king h8, and here comes a very pretty move, knight g5 to cover h7 square, and now rook g6 is unavoidable. For example, any move by black here, and rook g6 is a mate. This is a fantastic idea. I really like this knight g5 move in this variation. So anyways, this was not played. After bishop f6, black played rook fc8, and he has made some space for his king, and he's attacking this rook on c4. This is under attack. White played queen e5, and white is targeting the dark squares, and in many of our videos we have noticed that when black goes short castles, it's a very good idea, very interesting idea to try to attack on the dark squares. So here, after queen e5, I should actually clarify one thing, that in this position white cannot play the move rook g4 like it was possible with rook a c8 variation, because here black has king f8 square. So queen e2, rook g7, king f8 just escapes. So let's come back. After rook f c8, white played queen e5. Very, very fantastic move. And here black played rook c5. Now before we go into this move rook c5, let's try to understand what happens if black captures our hanging pieces. Our rook on c4 is hanging here and our bishop on f6 is also hanging. So here if black takes g into f6, there is rook g4 check. You can see that for king h8 there is mate with queen f6. So after rook g4, if king f8, there is queen d6 check, king e8, rook g8, checkmate. So coming back to the position after queen e5, if instead black tries queen into c4, there is queen g5 with a mate threat on g7, king f8. If instead of king f8, g6, it's very clear that queen h6 with an unavoidable queen g7 mate. So after queen g5, if black goes king f8, queen into g7 check, king e8, queen g8 check, king d7, and here you have the fork, knight e5 check. If king goes to c7, our queen is hanging on g8, so we give a check, and next move we capture knight into c4. So coming back to the position after queen e5, if here black goes for rook into c4, there is queen g5, again a mate threat on g7. If black plays something like rook g4, distracting us from the h6 square, we just take the rook. After g6, we don't have queen h6, but we have queen into a4. Very important to look at the whole board. So queen e5, and here black played rook c5. So black wants white to take on c5, which is possible, and black wanted to take back probably on f6 or play queen d3 and then take on f6. So after rook c5, white did not take rook c5. I mean, he did not capture back rook into c5, but he just went for the attack with queen g3. There is a mate threat on g7 still. Black played g6 and white simply took rook into a4, and white is a piece up and he has a completely winning position. Let's see the last few moves of the game. Queen d3 was played, attacking the b1 rook, rook f1, rook a c8, rook d4 attacking the queen. Black played queen f5, white played queen f4, and here black kind of blundered, but it's a completely winning position for white. Black played queen c2, and after queen h6, black resigned because he's getting checkmated on g7 next move. Very important in this game is the moment bishop f6. It just changed the course of the game, so let me take you once more to that moment. That's really the key position in the game. Let me just take you there. So that was, yes, this moment when white played the move bishop f6. Recently I tweeted something about 3 games reaching this bishop f6 idea, and one game was very beautiful game which probably can be called game of the year or something, played just a few days back by Dubov. So I really liked that how in 3 games bishop f6 was played, and now we know how the great players get these ideas of such amazing moves like bishop f6. This move, this idea, this tactical trick was played 99 years back. The great players, the strong players know their classics very well. I hope you all enjoyed the beautiful game of Alekhine and especially the beautiful idea Bishop f6. We all must definitely know our classics. Bye bye, see you, and before you go, do put a like if you like the video